Well, hey there everybody, welcome back to my movie channel. Thank you very much for joining me for this, my quick non-spoiler review for Deadpool 2. I got to see Deadpool 2 last night, and I have some thoughts on it, so I'm going to get into it and tell you some things I liked about the movie, some things I didn't like about the movie, and my thoughts overall on Deadpool 2. And again, this is a non-spoiler review. You are completely safe from all spoilers in this video. So let's get into this review. First of all, I want to talk about the action in Deadpool 2, because in Deadpool 1, the action was great. You know, it was thrilling and exciting. Deadpool 2, they really ramp up the action and it turns it right. I didn't think the first one could turn up that action anymore. And in Deadpool 2, they just turn it right up to like 11 or 12. The action in this movie is spectacular, and of course, I was expecting the action in this movie to be spectacular considering who's directing it. David Leitch, who directed John Wick. I love John Wick. I like John Wick too. He also directed Atomic Blonde earlier last year. And I didn't like Atomic Blonde so much overall as a film, but the one thing that was great about Atomic Blonde was its action. And you can really tell watching Deadpool 2 that it has those John Wick and Atomic Blonde kind of action sensibilities. David Leitch, I think, did a fantastic job directing Deadpool 2. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys what it is, but if you thought the opening credits on the first Deadpool were absolutely hilarious, wait until you see the opening credits for Deadpool 2. Oh my god, it had me in stitches. I was laughing the entire time. The opening credits, the opening scenes of this movie are great. And it gets you right into the movie. You know exactly where you are, you know exactly what's going on. It's a fantastic opening, the opening scene and the opening credits. Now, the main thing about Deadpool and the Deadpool movies is, of course, the humor and the comedy. And in Deadpool 2, I thought the humor was mostly hit, but sometimes it could be a bit hit and miss. Some jokes didn't work for me personally, but overall, the humor was great. Mostly the jokes worked, and I laughed my ass off. There are a couple of jokes in this film that just absolutely hit me in all the right ways. Dirty, vulgar, even there's some pop culture references. Of course, it's Deadpool 2, it's meta. They just absolutely had me laughing so hard, I think I spat my popcorn out a few times. So aside from Deadpool himself, there are a few side characters in this movie that I think were major standouts. And those were Colossus. You've got Dopender, the taxi driver. Oh my god, his scenes in this movie are great. Blind Owl, of course, is one that's always hilarious. I loved Peter, I loved Domino, but Josh Brolin as Cable really was just everything I wanted Josh Brolin as Cable to be. And it is a very different character from, say, a Thanos, but Cable in this movie is fantastic. Josh Brolin, this dude's gonna have one hell of a summer movie season, because he's got Avengers Infinity War, he's got Deadpool 2, and he's also in Sicario 2. And so good on Josh Brolin, man. He's picking some great roles this year, so he was great as Cable in Deadpool 2. You know, often with comedies and comedy sequels, the sequels to the first ones aren't usually that great. They normally, repeat a lot of beats from the first one and revisit a lot of jokes from the first one, like, say, the Hangover movies, or even something like Ted 2. As much as I really love the first Ted, and I like Ted 2, but it did repeat the same beats of the first one, did the same jokes over and over again. And Deadpool 2 doesn't do that. It has a few callbacks to the first movie, and it repeats a couple of jokes, but it does it in a way that it doesn't feel so forced. It felt really sort of like a natural way to repeat the jokes, if you get what I'm saying. But some of the surprises in this movie, there are some great surprises in Deadpool 2. There are some great things that you don't expect. Some people show up you don't expect to show up. I think one of the biggest surprises to me about Deadpool 2 wasn't about certain characters showing up. It wasn't, about action scenes or whatever. It was just Deadpool 2 is a surprisingly emotional movie. When they wanted you to feel sadness or to feel sorry for certain characters, I felt it at least. When they wanted you to feel excited, you felt excited, and it's a surprisingly emotional and quite a deep movie. Deadpool 2 is quite a deep movie, but I can't go into much more without getting into spoilers, but I'll just leave it at that. It's a surprisingly deep and emotional story, and I felt very invested in the story. Okay, now Deadpool 2 is not a perfect movie, so I'm going to get into a couple of my negatives. Look, overall, Deadpool 2 is a solid, fun, fantastic, enjoyable movie, but it does have some problems. I felt like its pacing was a little bit off. See, the first Deadpool had a certain pace to it, and it just kept moving. And the first Deadpool movie to me, it never really stopped at any point. Deadpool 2, I think in certain points could have cut certain scenes out. Certain scenes just felt like filler, and Deadpool 2's pacing just, it wasn't as sharp as maybe it should have been. Not even in comparison to the first one, just on its own, it wasn't as maybe as sharp of pacing as it could have been. And I also felt like one of my major problems with Deadpool 2 is from the second act to the third act, it just felt a bit rushed. It felt like they took a lot of time in setup with the first act, and then when you get to the second act and the third act, it just felt a bit rushed, and it felt like, oh, quick, we gotta get to the finish line. Quick, go, 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 go. And I didn't mind the first act, the setup, and that was very smooth. But as soon as you hit the second act, as soon as a certain thing happens in the second act, and from then on in, it just felt really rushed, and it felt like they were just trying to meet their 2-hour runtime. But look, overall, I really enjoyed Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 is a solid, fun, funny, entertaining time at the movies. It is a worthy follow-up to the first Deadpool. It's not a bad movie at all. I really enjoyed it. Now, do I think, and I don't think sequels have to be, you know, as good as the first one or better than the first one to be good. But I just wanted to let you guys know that if you're gonna ask me which one do I prefer, because I normally get that question a lot, I honestly think I prefer the first Deadpool over Deadpool 2. That's just my personal opinion. I like the first Deadpool better. Me and my cousin, when we were watching Deadpool 2, I think I leaned over to her towards the end and I said, I think I prefer the first one. And she agreed with me. She said, yeah, I think the first one is a lot better. So that's my review of Deadpool 2. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I have more reviews coming soon. And thank you very much for watching once again. My name is Tom, and I will see you guys next time.